What if I told you that there exists a small spiral-bound book, no bigger than a journal you'd find at a drugstore, that contains the private phone numbers, home addresses, and personal details of some of the most powerful people on Earth? And what if I told you that this book wasn't kept in a government vault or a CIA safe house, but in the desk drawer of a man who never graduated from college, who had no known clients, and whose actual source of wealth remains, to this day, one of the great unsolved mysteries of modern finance? This book, Jeffrey Epstein's so-called Black Book, is not rumor. It is not internet folklore. It is a physical document obtained by law enforcement, leaked to the public, and entered into legal proceedings. It contains approximately 1,500 names. And the earliest entries, the ones from the 1990s, tell us something extraordinary about how a man with no pedigree built one of the most dangerous networks of influence the world has ever seen. I'm Mark Epstein, and this is the Epstein Files. To understand the Black Book, you need to understand where Jeffrey Epstein was in the early 1990s. By 1991, he had already separated from his formal partnership with Leslie Herbert Wexner, the billionaire founder and CEO of the Limited Incorporated based in Columbus, Ohio. Wexner had granted Epstein sweeping power of attorney over his financial affairs in 1991, a legal arrangement that multiple financial analysts have described as virtually unprecedented for someone with no verifiable track record in asset management. By the mid-1990s, Epstein was operating out of his New York townhouse at 9 East 71st Street, Manhattan, one of the largest private residences in New York City. This was the same property that had been transferred to Epstein by Wexner in 1998 for, according to property records, a stated price of $0. A $77 million mansion for nothing. But here's where it gets disturbing. The Black Book wasn't just a contact list. It was an operational document. It was organized by region, by name, by usefulness. And the earliest entries, the ones dating to the early and mid-1990s, reveal that Epstein wasn't simply collecting names. He was building an architecture of access. The book first came to public attention through Alfredo Rodriguez, a former house manager at Epstein's Palm Beach estate located at 358 El Brillo Way, Palm Beach, Florida. Rodriguez worked for Epstein from approximately 2004 to 2005. When federal investigators began looking into Epstein's activities, Rodriguez took the book from the residence. He later attempted to sell it for $50,000 to an attorney representing one of Epstein's victims. Rodriguez was arrested by the FBI, charged with obstruction of justice, and sentenced to 18 months in federal prison. He died of mesothelioma in December 2014, at the age of 60. Rodriguez told investigators that the book was critical. He called it, according to court filings, the Holy Grail of the case. He believed it contained the names of people who either participated in or were witnesses to Epstein's activities. Now, the version of the Black Book that became public contains approximately 1,500 entries. Many of these are mundane: dentists, pilots, personal trainers, household staff. But a significant number are not mundane at all. And the early entries, those traceable to the 1990s based on phone number formats, addresses, and contextual details, paint a picture of a man methodically inserting himself into overlapping circles of wealth, politics, science, and media. Among the earliest documented contacts are names that span continents. The book includes multiple phone numbers and addresses for individuals in New York, Palm Beach, London, Paris, and the Caribbean. Entries include personal numbers, office numbers, numbers for assistants, numbers for drivers, sometimes 8 or 10 contact points for a single individual. This level of detail suggests not casual acquaintance, but operational management of relationships. Source: Document Cloud. Epstein Black Book, publicly available document. The book contains entries for prominent figures in finance, royalty, media, and politics. Many of these individuals have never been accused of any wrongdoing, and their presence in a contact book does not imply involvement in any crime. That distinction matters. That distinction is what separates journalism from conspiracy. But the patterns in the book, the clustering of names around specific locations, the notations beside certain entries, the circled names, those patterns matter too. Court records from the Jeffrey versus Maxwell civil case. Case number 15 CV 07433, filed in the Southern District of New York, reference the Black Book multiple times. Virginia Jeffrey, who brought that lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell, testified in depositions taken in 2016 that Maxwell and Epstein used their social contacts to create an environment of legitimacy and normalcy around their activities. According to Jeffrey's deposition, the network was the product. The web of powerful names was itself a tool of control. Source: Pacer. Case 15 CV 07433 RWS SDNY. Deposition transcripts unsealed July 2020. Now, if you're still here, it means you can handle the truth. So let me show you what they didn't want you to see. Ghislaine Maxwell was not merely an entry in the Black Book. According to testimony at her federal criminal trial, United States versus Ghislaine Maxwell, case number 20, CR 330, Southern District of New York, which ran from November 29th to December 29th, 2021, Maxwell was central to the recruitment and grooming process throughout the 1990s. Multiple witnesses testified that Maxwell was present in Epstein's life by 1991, and that by the mid-1990s, she was actively facilitating introductions on both sides of the Atlantic. Source: Pacer. Case 20 CR 330 SDNY. Trial transcripts, December 2021. The prosecution presented evidence that Maxwell leveraged her own social connections. She was the daughter of the late Robert Maxwell, the British media mogul, to bring Epstein into circles he could never have accessed alone. The 1990s were the construction phase. Epstein and Maxwell attended society events, charity galas, and private dinners in New York, London, and Palm Beach. They cultivated the appearance of a legitimate power couple, and the Black Book was the ledger of that construction. Source: Trial testimony, United States vs. Ghislaine Maxwell, Vanity Fair reporting. Testimony from the Maxwell trial also established that during the 1990s, Epstein and Maxwell began developing the infrastructure for abuse. Witnesses described a pattern in which young women and girls were recruited through seemingly innocent offers, jobs as personal assistants, massage appointments, and then subjected to escalating abuse. The Black Book entries from this period, investigators noted, included contact details for some individuals who later became witnesses or victims. Source: Maxwell trial transcripts, SDNY, December 2021. Now let me be precise about something. Certain entries in the Black Book were circled or marked. Rodriguez told investigators that these markings had significance, though the exact system of notation has never been fully explained in court documents. Some researchers and journalists have interpreted the circles as indicating individuals who were contacted or involved in specific activities, but this interpretation has not been confirmed by any court ruling or official investigative finding. I tell you that because in this series, we follow evidence, not assumptions. Source: Court filings related to Rodriguez obstruction case, Miami Herald reporting. What is confirmed is the scope. The Black Book shows that by the late 1990s, Epstein had built a contact network that stretched across the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and the Caribbean. His properties matched this geography. 9 East 71st Street in Manhattan, 358 El Brillo Way in Palm Beach, an apartment on Avenue Foch in Paris, Zorro Ranch in Stanley, New Mexico, and Little St. James Island in the United States Virgin Islands. Each property functioned, according to victim testimony and court filings, as a node in a network. Source: property records, multiple jurisdictions. Pacer, case 8-80736 CIV, Pacer, case 19 CR 490 SDNY. I'm Mark Epstein, and I'll see you in the next file. Share this before it disappears from your feed. I want to know what you think. The Paris apartment is particularly significant in the context of early 1990s entries. Jean-Luc Brunel, the French modeling agent who was found dead in his Paris jail cell on February 19, 2022, while awaiting trial on charges of rape and sexual harassment, appears in the Black Book with multiple contact numbers. Brunel and Epstein's relationship dates to the early 1990s. According to testimony in the Maxwell trial, Brunel provided access to young models, some of them minors, through his modeling agencies. This is where the official story falls apart. If law enforcement had the Black Book by 2005, and they did, because Rodriguez took it from the Palm Beach residence. During the investigation that led to the 2006 FBI probe, then investigators had a roadmap. They had names, they had numbers, they had addresses, they had the architecture of the entire network laid out in a spiral-bound notebook. And yet, when Palm Beach County State Attorney Barry Krischer initially handled the case, the matter was nearly reduced to a single charge of solicitation of prostitution, a term that itself mischaracterized the abuse of minors. It was only because the FBI, under the direction of the Palm Beach field office, escalated the investigation that a federal case was opened. And even then, the resulting non-prosecution agreement of 2007, negotiated by then United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Alexander Acosta, effectively shut down the broader investigation. The NPA, which was executed in 2008 under case number 088099, granted immunity not only to Epstein, but to any and all potential co-conspirators, named and unnamed. Think about that. Pause. The Black Book contained the network. The NPA immunized the network. The one document that could have unraveled everything was neutralized by the very agreement that was supposed to deliver justice. The Department of Justice Office of Professional Responsibility completed a review of Acosta's handling of the case. That report, finalized in November 2020, concluded that while Acosta exercised our poor judgment, his actions did not constitute professional misconduct. Acosta resigned as Secretary of Labor on July 19, 2019, after the case received renewed public attention, following Epstein's arrest on July 6, 2019, at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. So what does the Black Book truly represent? It is not merely a list of contacts. It is a document that maps the early construction, in the 1990s, of a network designed to provide access, protection, and impunity. The names in it range from the innocent to the implicated. But the structure of it, the meticulous detail, the regional organization, the multiple contact points per entry, reveals something about Epstein's method. He didn't just know powerful people. He collected them. He cataloged them. He made himself indispensable to them. And that web of mutual dependency is what kept the truth buried for decades. The victims, many of them recruited as teenagers in the 1990s, were not failed by one person. They were failed by a system of relationships that the Black Book documents in black and white. The question that remains is not whether those relationships existed. The book proves they did. The question is, how many people within that network knew what was happening and said nothing? That question has not been answered. Not by any court, not by any investigation, not by any commission. And until it is, the Black Book remains not just evidence of a crime, but evidence of a silence. The powerful bury the truth. But paper has a longer memory than power. If this episode opened your eyes, hit subscribe and the bell icon, because every file matters. Comment below, What name in the Black Book do you think deserves its own episode? I read every single one. Share this before it disappears from your feed. Next file, we go to the flight logs. The Lolita Express. Specific dates, specific passengers, specific destinations, and one flight that no one has ever been able to explain. I'm Mark Epstein, and I'll see you in the next file. This video is backed by comprehensive primary source documentation. Refer to the bibliography for full legal and investigative citations.